Why do we self-sabotage ourselves though? We just don't want to face potential disappointment. Negative self-talk. Ooh, child, one task at a time. Hey y'all, thank you for tuning in to another episode of I Can't Relate, the podcast where we tackle the highs, the lows, and downright messy moments of life, love, and everything in between. I'm Talisha Marie. Now let's get into it. Happy New Year. This is my first video of the year. I hope you all brought in the new year in a good way. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I did. Today's topic that I want to get into, since it is the new year, is self-sabotage. And I feel like a lot of people can relate to self-sabotage, right? Because, we do this almost on a daily, whether you know it or not. It's that little voice in your head that you might hear when you are trying to reach a goal, when you got something going on, and that little voice in your head is telling you, it'll be all right. You're really good where you at. You really ain't got to do, too much more. It's that little voice telling you it ain't gonna work out. It's you're not good enough. What if it goes wrong? You're just questioning yourself, like, what if I do this and I don't get the outcome I'm looking for? What if people don't, show up for me like I want them to? What if I don't get the audience, or whatever it is that you may be, working on or working at? We're going to get a little bit into what self-sabotage is. Self-sabotage manifests as behaviors or thoughts that undermines our goals and progress. Undermines our goals and progress, like I was just saying. A common example of self-sabotage could be procrastination. A lot of times, we put things on hold instead of going with the flow. Right? You know what I'm saying? When we thinking about something, we want to do something, we keep putting it on hold. We keep procrastinating about doing it, just doing it. Overthinking. I know I'm definitely an overthinker. Like, I feel like that's why, as y'all can see, that I changed the name of my podcast. We gonna stick with it, y'all. I promise. We gonna stick with it unless I grow big, and you know what I'm saying? When I grow big, let me manifest that. When I grow big, and let me get a little more comfortable. When I grow big, and I don't know, I just find myself overthinking a lot of stuff. Like, I put myself in situations. It could be something as simple as going to the store. I just overthink what time I should go. What should I get? It could be what route I want to take. It could be as far as my podcast goes. I know I want to do it. I have a passion for it. And sometimes different topics I want to discuss, I overthink it. I put way too much thought into it instead of just doing it. Way too much thought into, when should I post? What's the best time? Will people like to hear this? Will people like to hear that? I don't think that's gonna be good. Just overly thinking way too much. Self-doubt. That's another one. Like I was just saying, doubting yourself, like feeling like you can't do it, whether it's losing weight, going to apply for a better job, just whatever it is that you may have planned. Like, we self-doubt. I said, I ain't gonna get that because I ain't been here long enough. Oh, the other person probably gonna get it because they been here longer than me, so they more experienced than me. Just things of that nature. So we kind of self-doubt ourselves for no reason at all. Like, it's just that little voice in your head that is telling you that it ain't gonna work. Comfortability. You may be comfortable where you are. You want to do something different. You want to go, shoot for the stars, but also you're comfortable where you're at. Or, it could be pushing people away. There could be people that's really in your corner. Like, it could be relationship wise, people that's just there to support in whatever it is you want to do. We push them away. Like, and I can't really answer why. I can't really get to the root of why, but sometimes I know for me, like with me wanting to grow my podcast and a couple of other goals that I got that I won't speak on until they are accomplished, because you don't speak on all your goals. You don't put all your goals into the atmosphere until, you know what I'm saying? You keep the real important stuff, silent. But, podcasts, I'm on YouTube, I'm on the internet with it, so I'm sure, people know by now that I'm, taking this serious. So, um, from like I was saying, for me, I think I push people away sometimes. And I'm not gonna necessarily say push them away, but at the same time, I want to say I did this myself. I'm that type of person. When it comes to something that I've thought of and want to accomplish, although, sometimes it takes a village, to help you out with this, that, or whatever. I'm just the type that I want to say I did this myself without help. And so that further in my mind tells me, nope, don't ask for help. Don't ask them to do this. Don't ask them to do that. Because I just feel like I want to say, this is my baby. And I grew this baby myself. I did it myself. And, you just want to be able to take full credit. And that's how I feel sometimes. And I know, it's okay to ask for help or people for ideas, because, a fresh set of eyes might be just what I need to get this going, to get it to really, take off. So, those are some ways that we self-sabotage ourselves. Why do we self-sabotage ourselves though? For one, I'll say fear. I'm gonna go with fear, because sometimes you're just afraid to take that step. You don't know the outcome. Like I said, it could be a job. You're going for a promotion. You're applying for the position, and you may think to yourself, "What if I don't get it?" That's that little. Keep in mind, that's that little voice we got in our head. It's fear of denial. I feel like when you're going for that job, it could be fear that you're gonna get turned down for the position. They're gonna give it to somebody else. They're gonna tell you you're not qualified. And sometimes it could be fear in a good way. Like, sometimes I think like, okay, should I do this? Because, and you thinking like positive, for me anyway, I'm thinking like positive, like, okay, so when I get to this point, and then I'm gonna grow. I'm thinking about, like, once my podcast blows up and I start getting attraction, and people may be asking me, hey, come do interviews, on my show. I want to get to know you, what your podcast is about, like stuff like that. I just get a little anxiety. I think, like, okay, when I get to that point, when it happens, then this what comes behind it. So it's a good fear, but at the same time, you're thinking in your head, what if it don't go the way I want to? What if I put all of my heart, my soul, into this, and then it never goes anywhere? Like, it's just like thoughts that be in our heads. Like, what if I'm fear of rejection, fear of, let down. It's just, I don't know. That's just what it is. We just don't want to face potential disappointment. Like I said, fear of success. Like, it's a real thing. Like, you can really fear success. Like, wow, when I get to this point, this gonna happen, my life gonna change, all my dreams gonna come true. And it's like worrying about the expectations to once you get to this place. Once you get to the place, sometimes you might have a burnout because you've been working so hard toward your goal or goals, and once you finally get to that point, you get to where you've been trying to get to, And then sometimes you might experience a burnout because now it's time to put foot to concrete for real, for real, once you actually meet that goal. And for me, I just feel like, okay, once I meet that goal, once I get this following, build this community, get all this traction, now I gotta keep the momentum up. I gotta keep it going. I gotta make sure I come up with new ideas, stuff people want to talk about. Like I gotta keep the momentum going. And sometimes it's like, dang, what if I can't, once I get there, I can't keep them pleased, or I can't, what I'm saying, keep them engaged, or whatever the case may be. No, that's crazy. You like praying for, because you always put, and manifest, put in your prayers, your goals and stuff like that. And yeah, of course, I always include my podcast in my prayer every time I pray. I might slip up here and there and maybe, not, but for the most part, I always include my podcast. If this is meant for me, Lord, let this be. And I know stuff don't happen overnight. So all I can do is be patient and just keep putting in the work, keep doing the work. Another one is perfectionism. Some of us think that everything has to be perfect before we start. And I know, as far as being a content creator, and I've watched channels that got millions of followers, 1 million followers, 3 million followers, 5 million followers. Like the main thing they always say is just start. It don't matter if you got the fancy, expensive camera. It don't matter if you don't have the background, the lighting. Just get started. That's the main thing they always say. Everything ain't gonna be perfect in the beginning. That's the part I feel like is it's gonna show your growth from where you started. And of course, as you grow and you're gonna you're gonna make enough money, or you're gonna start making money, then you can start buying better equipment so you can have better lighting, or you may rent out a studio to do your shows, or just whatever goal it is you have. We think we have to perfect it. It have to be perfect before we can put it out there. Just start whatever it is you want to do, whether it's going back to school, whether it's for going for that new job, uh, whatever it is that you want to do in life, entrepreneurship. Sometimes you just got to step out on faith and do it, because nobody's perfect. Nothing is perfect. And sometimes people don't want perfect. We got to realize that too. People don't want perfect. People want to see the real, the raw. You know what I'm saying? Want to see you be your genuine self, because if you try to put up this image, of something you're not, sometimes people can read through that. And sometimes it's not about, I want to say, an image. Sometimes we think, like me, when I first started doing this, I thought that I felt like I needed to come on here and be scripted. Like I still have little cards and whatnot that I go by to kind of keep me on track, and you know what I'm saying, make sure I stay focused on the topic at hand, because sometimes I can stray away from the topic or whatever. But you know, just being yourself and going for what you know, that's the best thing going. Be confident in yourself when you whatever it is you want to do, and that's gonna take you far too. That's gonna help you get through, I feel like. Another one I feel like is comfort zones. We be comfortable. We already have our routine, this pattern that we do every day. Probably been doing it for a while, and we just comfortable with it. And so, what I'm saying, at this point we like content. Okay, well, I'm already making this much money, so I don't need to make more money. Or I already graduated doing this, then I don't really need to do this, because I'm cool with where I'm at, like type vibe, type thing. And we'll stick with it, the patterns or whatever, even if it's harmful, like could affect you in a bad way. It's just like, I don't know, we be in that comfort zone. And I'm gonna say for me, because we keep it real, raw, and uncut over here. So and we, what I'm saying, we overshare a little bit. Me trying to lose weight, I self-sabotage myself every day, almost Every day is hard. Every day I have to push myself to say, don't eat this, drink more water, get up and exercise. And then on the other hand, be like, I still look good. I'm not ugly. Like these thoughts in my head, like, it's okay to go one more day of eating bad. It's all right. I got tomorrow to go. And then the next day will come and I kind of say the same speech. I make up these excuses. Okay, I only had one bad thing. Whole time, my goal is to not have nothing bad. Nothing. That's how, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to bring in the new year. But for people that is even on, that's a goal of theirs to lose weight. Y'all know that little person in our head, that little voice in our head be telling us it ain't gonna hurt. One more cake ain't gonna hurt. One more slice of pizza not gonna hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like you already fat. What's it gonna hurt? What more can it do to you? Make you fatter? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you already comfortable. And I got my routines. Like, I have snacks beside my bed. Um, I'm not in the habit of having a cup of water by my bed. So when I wake up, I drink water. I'm used to having a Coca-Cola or some tea by my bed to wake up to and drink if I get thirsty in the middle of the night. I'm used to snacking in the middle of the night. If I wake up and can't go back to sleep, I grab a snack. So those are some of the things that's what I mean by it can be harmful to you. You know, the patterns that we're in, the comfortability that we have within ourselves, or you know what I'm saying? So I self-sabotage a lot in that department. Like that is one of the hardest this is one of the hardest things that I've had to do in a long time. It's just focus, get myself focused, like I keep saying, every day that I am. And then boom, some in my head be like, go on, get it. Just start over tomorrow. We gonna do it tomorrow. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. Make sure I'm gonna wake up. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Whole time, that's just a little voice in my head. That's the devil. That's that little devil in my head telling me to do wrong, and I gotta quit listening to the devil. So being comfortable, that's another one as well. And how many of y'all can relate to any of these as I'm going along? Drop it in the comments as I'm talking about it. Can you relate to any of it? Is this you? What's holding you back? So with all that being said, we got to recognize our self-sabotaging behaviors. And what I mean by that is avoidance, putting off tasks that we might need to do to get us where we're trying to go, putting off conversations that need to be had, or just decisions we need to make about whatever, it is that we're trying to do. We just got to recognize that. Negative self-talk. Ooh, child. That's another one. You just gotta recognize when you feel like, oh, just whatever negative it is that you got in your head, like this ain't gonna go nowhere. I ain't gonna get the promotion nowhere. I'm not good enough for this, or I'm not, what I'm saying, better than this or that. Like we gotta stop the negative talk. We gotta recognize the behavior. When we do the negative talk, and we gotta, flip it and speak positive. And what I'm saying, feed ourselves, feed our mind positive thoughts, positive energy. We gotta quit doing that. Saying that I'll never be good enough. All that kind of crazy old stuff. All that crazy talk. We gotta quit doing it, y'all. Doubting your own skills or accomplishments. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to put it. It's just like you might accomplish one thing, but now you feel like, oh, I did that, but I can't do this. I feel like if I try, then I might fail. If I try this, my skills ain't good enough. I feel like where I'm trying to go, my skills, I need to keep working on it a little bit more before I go and apply for this job. I need to keep working on a little bit more, you know what I'm saying, before I start. Overcommitting, taking on so much at one time, like putting so much on your plate at one time just to set yourself up for failure. So I feel like whatever it is you do, take baby steps. I would say maybe check off, like, how chapters is in a book, paragraphs in a book. Maybe start with a paragraph of what the whole plate is. Just take a portion of what's on their plate and work on it. And once you accomplish that, I feel like we can get more done. That's just like something small as me cleaning my house. I say, okay, it's Saturday. I'm gonna wake up, clean up my house top to bottom. And so I got this full plate. I got the kitchen, I got the bathroom, I got my bedroom, I got the den, I got the living room, I got my baby toy room. I got a lot to do, right? So by me saying, oh, I'm gonna get all this done in a day or in have whatever time limit I give myself, I find myself in the kitchen. I done start washing the dishes, and then it be stuff that belong in the bedroom. So I gotta take this from the kitchen, take it to the bedroom, and then I just get to start on cleaning up in there until I see something that belongs in the living room. Then I go take it to the living room and I start straightening up, and then I look up, it's 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. I've been doing this for 7, 8 hours, y'all, and ain't shit accomplished. The kitchen's still messy where I started cleaning from the jump. It's like when you all over the place, you give yourself too much to do at one time. It is, you setting yourself up for failure. Like, and I have had to learn that if I do say, okay, I'm gonna clean up today, I'm gonna pick this what I'm gonna clean up today. I might pick the bedroom, my bathroom, and the kitchen. Start on my bedroom, just straight up. Whatever don't belong in there, just sit it in the hallway. Don't go to another room. Like, that's how I have to think. Like, don't overexert yourself. Cause once my mind get put on my mind gets set, I feel like it's just constant, constant, constant. And I can't, it's like I can't stop until I finish, or my mind gets so overwhelmed and I'm constantly looking around the house like, damn, it don't look like I'm cleaning nothing. It looks like I'm just going room to room, just putting stuff in whatever room it go in, but it don't actually look like I'm freaking cleaning up. So it's like, dang. Then I'll get overwhelmed, overexerted, and then I've been doing it for 8 hours with no results really, and I just give up. I say I'll start again tomorrow. And so that's an example of putting too much on your plate. Now, some people probably can. They know how to work the motion, but it's just the way my mind does, how my mind works sometimes. I just be all over the place, and I got to learn to do one task at a time. And, so I feel like we all can use it in our daily lives, one task at a time. And we just got to come up with ways on how to stop self-sabotaging. And I feel like we can do that by awareness, identifying the triggers and the patterns, like what's making me with my weight loss, trying not to eat bad. What's the trigger for me to make me want to go in the refrigerator and get, you know what I'm saying, the junk food? What makes me want to go get that ice cream out the freezer? Like, what triggered me to do this? I could get overwhelmed with something else. I could get frustrated with something. I need a snack. I feel like I need a snack to help calm me down, to comfort me. Like, it's a comfort food. So I find myself, eating a snack because it comforts me. And my trigger is overthinking, getting overwhelmed or frustrated sometimes. And sometimes I think I do it just to do it, to be honest. I ain't gonna lie. Mindset shift. Reframe failure as a learning opportunity. Instead of thinking I'm gonna fail, or I feel like I may have not done this right, or whatever the case may be, think about what if. I know I said before, like with success, it's kind of a fear as well, but I think I'd rather have fear of success than failure. So whatever it is you think you're gonna fail at, just turn it into a positive and like, okay, but what if I do? You know what I'm saying? What if I do? What if I don't try and never know? So just try and just make it a learning opportunity as you go. Like, that's what I feel like. Like I was just saying, breaking goals into steps. Portion it off. Don't try to do the whole thing at once. For me, I feel like I know what points I need to start at. I just need to execute them. I need to stick to it. Instead of saying I'm going to eat completely healthy in a day, I know that, it takes time sometimes to get to that point. So maybe I have a light snack, something sweet, but let it be light. Or take away, what I'm saying, majority of the sweets, and just have this one thing that I can have once or twice out the week, and the rest of the time try to eat healthy, or just section it off, whatever your goals are. Just focus on the small parts that you can manage, and once you manage that, then move on to the next, move on to the next. So as I'm trying to tell y'all stuff, then I'm preaching to myself too. So I gotta take heed to this as well. hmm Practicing self-compassion and taking accountability. I'm just gonna put them two together, okay? Stop being your own worst critic. This kind of plays into what I was already talking about. Stop being your own worst critic, because you're gonna have people out there that's going to critique you anyway, anyhow. So don't be your don't be your biggest supporter. You might got somebody in your corner that supports you, but ultimately you be your biggest supporter. Don't critique every little thing you do. And it goes back to, it can't be perfect. Ain't nothing perfect. Just do it. And just have them thoughts in your head that, oh, it's gonna work, I'm gonna get the job, I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna be able to do that, I'm gonna finish school, whatever it is that you got going on. Just don't don't talk down on yourself. What I mean by accountability, it's okay, I feel like, to share certain goals with one or maybe two people, and it don't have to be your biggest goal. Because I know some things, like for me, I like to keep to myself until I done got it in motion, or probably done met the goal. And then I tell people, like, hey, oh, I did this, I finished this, and then, in the third. And so, like, when I say, like, when I was going to school to get my high school diploma, I went back to school for that. And I wasn't getting all on social media just announcing to the world that I didn't have my diploma. I didn't announce that I was back in school to get my diploma. When I knew I had finished and I got the confirmation from the school that you did it, you completed, then I made my announcement. So some things I could feel people that, you don't want to tell people all your goals, because, people, prey on your downfall and stuff like that. So I can understand. But if it's something that you're kind of like, okay, I can confide, I got at least one person I feel like I can confide in, and they gonna mean me good, not bad, then, do that. So somebody can hold you accountable for whatever it is that you're trying to do. And just make sure that person ain't negative about it. Even if you're doing wrong, it's okay to say, hey, remember, you're not supposed to be doing this, and don't be sarcastic about it, or whatever the case may be. Then if you feel like you got that one person that's not going to make you feel like shit if you don't meet that goal when you say you do, then confide in them. I could have been further in life than what I am now if it wasn't for self-sabotage. I could have went back to school for my diploma years ago, and I could have been so much further. I could have already had my plans on going back to school to be whatever it is that I want to do for the rest of my life as my career. Like, I just feel like a lot of times it was just like, okay, I still got a job that's making decent money. So what I need to go back and get my diploma for? I'm cool. I'm comfortable with where I'm at. I can still pay my bills. I can still shop. I can still take care of my children. So why do I need to go back and get a diploma? You know what I'm saying? Whole time you do need your high school diploma, because if you do want to go back to school, college, college, you're going to need those transcripts. You're going to need that diploma in order to, get enrolled into a school to further whatever it is you want to do. So it was much needed, but at the time I was just comfortable where I was, and so it wasn't at the top of my list. And like I said, so I wish that I would have did it way, way, way back when. I would be, ain't no telling what I'd be doing right now career wise. So, you know, That sucks, but I finally did it, and that's all that matters. I got it done, and now it's just on me to go ahead and get the ball rolling with what I got, going on next. And I feel like that's something that I'm gonna kind of keep to myself until I get the ball actually rolling, everything in motion. So, it's okay to tell some things, and it's okay to keep some things to yourself, because it can be hard when you're an overthinker, when you know what I'm saying, have that little voice in your head telling you this and that, and you just critiquing yourself. So I get that it's sometimes hard to talk to somebody about it, but so it's all good. Just work on it a little bit at a time. Tell them something that's not as important, something that you won't mind if you didn't get it right the first time. Just start small, I would say. Just recognize when you're getting in your own way. Just if you're doing something, trying to achieve a goal, doing something, and you that little voice in your head starts saying this or that, and you kind of start falling into that trap, that little voice in my head tell me go on ahead that donut, and then I'm like, okay, I just start over tomorrow. Don't fall into the trap. When you feel it, when you recognize it, go ahead and catch it and flip it around. Instead of me getting that donut, let me grab an apple, let me grab some type of fruit, in a place of that cake or that donut or whatever I wanted, ice cream. So just recognize when you're getting in your own way. I would say don't go big. Like, start with one of your smaller goals and work on that, knock that out, and then just keep building. Put all your goals like on a scale of 1 to 10, the biggest to the smallest, or the smallest to the biggest. And I would say start small first, so that way you won't overwhelm yourself, and then you hit the small goals. It's just going to motivate you, give you more confidence to keep going and keep hitting your goals. And then as you get to the bigger goals, by the time you get to the bigger goals, you got so much confidence in yourself that you're gonna be able to knock it out, and you ain't gonna even know it. You're gonna be like, damn, I'm here already. I'm at my last goal that I wanted to achieve, the last goal on my list. I'm here already. And you're gonna have some more confidence. You're gonna knock that goal on out too. And just remember, growth is messy, and that's okay. It's not gonna be perfect. It's not gonna be quick. It's not gonna be easy. That's all I got for today on this discussion. And I know I didn't really go into the relationship sabotaging, because I wanted to focus more on our goals and careers, since this is the first video of the new year, and I know a lot of people have New Year resolutions, got goals you're trying to set for the year. So I wanted to kind of base it just around that and not a relationship, because I feel like a relationship can be important, but we'll talk about that in a different video. We talking about goals and accomplishing our goals, and being positive about whatever it is that we got going on. And yeah, so that's a wrap on I Can't Relate podcast. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you all got some gems from this episode. I hope I motivated somebody to go ahead and just get started. And if I did, drop it down in the comments below and let me know what part that you liked of this video that helped you, that made you want to get started or stop self-sabotaging. What did I say that make you want to say, okay, self-sabotage stops today? Drop it down in the comments below if you got a story on the time that you self-sabotage, and drop it down in the comments below. And I'm gonna get out this video. Until next time, I'm out.